All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Eyes in the Dark. It's a game that I made in 48 hours for Asylum Jam 2016. The goal was to make a horror game that doesn't use psychiatric wards or mental hospitals or any of the negatively stigmatized tropes that some video games and movies do fall back on for horror. And let's just go ahead and start. So, this game just plops us right down in a very bare room. We've got first-person controls, look around with the mouse, move with WASD keys, and every time you play this game, it will procedurally generate a random maze. Let's see here. And that includes not just the rooms, the layout of the maze, but also you can see those red eyes that fade out and then glow and come back into view in the distance there. Those guys are also placed randomly throughout the maze. So again, this was made in 48 hours. I set out to do this very minimalistically and see what can be done with procedural generation. So, since there aren't any landmarks, I'm just going to do the right hand wall follow, where I follow my hand along the right wall. And so now we're at a dead end. We just turn around and keep following our right hand on the wall. That is going to move us towards these eyes, but now we can go. But my inspiration for this game was the old Edgar Rice Burroughs books, Princess of Mars. Some of you might know them from the movie John Carter of Mars. There's a scene in the books where John Carter is put in this dark underground prison where there's no lights. He can barely see anything down there, and he's just watched and stalked by these burning red eyes in the shadows that he always feels like they're following him, always observing him. So I went to try and create that feel in this game, Eyes in the Dark. Ooh. But there should be an exit somewhere in this maze. A little crack in the floor where you can see light flooding through. Aha! And there it is. Bam. And now that took a while to get through the maze and find it. That's one of the advantages, and again, one of the challenges, let's do a different maze here, of procedurally generating content for a video game, is I had to write in some checks in the algorithm to make sure that the maze was actually completable. Because, oh, yeah, see, it started us right near the exit, and there aren't even any eyes this time. But you can't just create a bunch of rooms and randomly put openings and connections between the rooms and say, all right, now find the exit, because it might not actually have a path from your starting point to the exit point. So you've got to check and make sure that the rooms are all fully connected to each other from any given point in the maze. You should be able to reach any other points in the maze. We got a lot more eyes this time. And the other advantage of using procedural generation is that you can make the maze crushingly large or crushingly complicated, which isn't necessarily something that you want to put your players through, but it does make for a very extreme and challenging experience, like you see in all of those roguelike games, where sometimes the level can be so vast that you're just sprinting through it and you still haven't found hide or hair of an exit or any objective. You can jump. I just used the standard first-person controller asset from the Unity asset store. It was free. Everybody can use it because all of my development for this game went into making the maze, making these glowing red-eye creatures, and doing the procedural generation algorithm. All right, but if you hold shift, you can sprint. And the eyes will dart away from you if you get too close. And I also, with this game, I was trying to focus on the lighting. I'm a big fan of Jim Sterling and the Jimquisition, so I was very sensitive to the fact of all these indie games that happen in dark environments. It's almost like you're looking through a cardboard tube. Ah, there's our exit. And you can't really see anything outside of just the small radius of light that your light source is casting. So this one, our player actually has multiple light sources. You can kind of see the concentric rings where we've got a dim view that is very wide, so we can see this entire wall and a little bit of the corner there. And then we've got a slightly brighter ring of vision, and then an even brighter ring of vision in the very center of our view. And that, I think, is a more realistic way to do vision in darkness, where things are clearer if they're dead center or clearer if you get closer to them, but you can still kind of sort of see things that are in the shadows or at the very periphery of your vision, but not as well. And that's also something I did with the monsters. You can clearly see the eyes, but not the rest of him. And as you get closer, they'll vanish right before you can glimpse what his body looks like. And then the same thing with these doors. At this point, you can't even see the doorway or the back wall of the next room. But then when you walk in, you can start to see, oh, there's a door, oh, there's walls. There we go. So see here, we can't see what's in that room. And then once we enter the door, we can see, oh, there's a wall there. But then there's doors on either side. This also reminds me a little bit, I don't know if you guys have played Kingsfield, but this kind of feels to me like Kingsfield on the original PlayStation did when I was much younger. Of course, that company's moved on to bigger and better things. They've since made a little game called Dark Souls. I don't know if you've heard of that one. Where is that exit? Alright, I'm just going to start sprinting. I feel like I've showed enough of the mechanics of this game. And I encourage you guys to try it out for yourselves. Unfortunately, the lighting isn't very good on all of the people's playthroughs that I've seen. On my Linux version, it gives an icky blue tint to all of the walls. On some other Let's Players videos, I've noticed that they can't really see anything. It's way too dark. And I regret I wasn't able to address that in the 48 hours for the game jam. I would have to do like a Amnesia-esque move the slider until you can see the circle, but you can't see the triangle or something like that, because everybody's video card is different. Everybody's graphics driver and video card driver is different. You just have to dynamically adjust for almost to the individual computer and operating system combo, unfortunately. But thank you guys very much for watching. I'm going to provide a link to download the game and play it for yourself below. I hope you guys enjoy it.